Hello, I am live once again. It is I, Rob, from that channel Performance Check, and I've got a few things to talk about today. Um, I'm actually sat with my laptop balanced on cushion, so hopefully it's still. I've been moving around trying to ensure that I'm getting a good signal. Some of the videos that I've been doing previously, it's been it's been a bit glitchy. So if it is that way again for this video, I do apologize. For those that watch this content on YouTube, I basically go live on Facebook and then just rip it straight from Facebook and just paste it straight onto YouTube. So if not, the next time I'll have to just go on the old phone to go live because I never had any issues like that when I was on my phone. So we shall see. But yeah, I've got a few things to talk about today. So I'm gonna have a sip of tea. I'm gonna have a puff, and then I'm gonna get into it. Um, that actually, I've just remembered. Actually, I should say something else. So first of all, um, I think it's important to congratulate Absolute Tabletop, the fellas that run the page that I'm live on currently. Um, what an amazing day for them, and well deserved as well. The Kickstarter has just surpassed uh, their expectations. I can see by well, I know they wanted to have a low goal, but I think um, today for them is well deserved. For those of you that don't know, for those of you watching on my YouTube page, Absolute Tabletop, they've been doing a Kickstarter for Oath of the Frozen King adventure kits. Um, and it's a really great product. It's a really great product that I endorse 100%. If you want to see me run a game using that kit, you go onto my channel. It's called the game is called Chronicles of the Nine Kingdoms: The Winding Law. And it speaks to the adaptability of that kit really because I was able to use that kit and put it into my setting in the Nine Kingdoms. For those of you interested that don't know about this, go and check out their Kickstarter page because it's a really great product, and they've already gone past the goal, so it's happening. And Yeah, check it out. So congrats to them. Obviously, I always I'll come onto this Facebook group to go live. Sometimes, I don't want to take that for granted. So, well done, guys. Good stuff. So, I've got a few updates for Performance Check to talk about, first of all, before I move on to the main topics. I've got two topics because I didn't know whether I'd be able to speak for a whole video about one topic, so I picked two. But I'm going to do some updates first. So, first of all, uh, I'm going live now. I'm going to whack this obviously onto the YouTube. First of all, to say I'm basically going to be moving house very soon. Um, I'm not going to go into the details why, but I'm moving house. So for that reason, I'm probably not going to be able to post as regularly. I'm saying that, but I might find the time. I don't know. I might be able to. Um, Not that I'm saying this in some egotistical way, like you guys are chomping at the bit to see me post more, because that probably isn't the case. But I'm just saying that's one thing that's cropping up at the moment in terms of Performance Check, the content that I'll be putting up, because I'm going to be moving. So it's yeah. So I'm not like hate moving house. But that's one thing. But that will tie into the topic that I wish to discuss later. Also, with Performance Check. Now, I'm aware with a lot of the streams that I do, and videos, I talk about the Law Keepers. The Law Keepers is a game that I run on my channel with some excellent players. It's really a lot of fun. But I know I obviously talk quite a lot about it. And I'm quite sure that there's a few people on my channel that watch my sort of tips videos and things, but don't really watch the Lore Keepers because um, I don't know, like it's a 4 hour commitment for a session. Well, actually, 5 hour for the latest one. Um, the latest session was really cool. I really had a great time. Lore Keepers, Chapter 6, The Deep Lantern. Some really dramatic stuff where um, uh, the players made it through. There was significant cost to one of the characters in particular who lost something very dear to them, uh, near and dear to them. I won't say what, if unless you, in case you go and watch it. It was a great game, and it's weird actually. For the I found myself with this particular chapter of the Lore Keepers kind of sitting back a bit. I mean, I usually sit back and just obviously let the players do their thing when I'm running a game, but because I kind of treated the last two chapters that I've done as kind of like a two-parter. Um, I found that I had achieved basically most of the setup for what was going to happen in the next session. So I basically knew everything that was going to happen. So in terms of the prep that I did, it was very light. I knew I had my encounters, and that was it. So this was a real flying by the seat of my pants kind of game that I ran, and I really enjoyed it. Um, and Yeah, this one was particularly special. But like I was saying before I went on that tangent, I am aware that some people watch my channel but don't go and get into the Lore Keepers because the Lore Keepers is a live game 4 or 5 hours long per session. I totally get that. So what I'm planning on doing at some point, probably not soon, soonish maybe, I don't know. It depends if I have time. But I'm planning on doing a kind of Lore Keepers abridged video where I basically there's a series on my channel called Lore Drop, and that's where I do sort of my old school D&D, my old school D&D sort of experiences. I talk about games that happened when playing with different people or whatever. Um, I'm thinking about doing something similar for Lore Keepers because I've got like a back catalogue now. I've got like um, uh, 6 chapters down. So I don't know. And maybe it might be a useful tool to catch people up as well, so they can watch Lore Keepers Abridged to then be ready to watch the other one. It's an idea I'm kicking around at the moment. I haven't like set anything in stone at the moment, but I thought that might be a good idea. I don't want to alienate people from my material because it's 5 hours long. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna change how I run the game. It runs as long as it does because as much as I like catering my games to be entertaining for an audience to watch, it is more important for me to ensure that my players are having the best experience possible. So that's just the way it is. So hopefully I'm gonna have the best of both worlds shortly. Mm. See, there's a few people in the comments, vision intensifiers, and I'm gonna read the comments. Really not with it today. Matt Click, hey man, says afternoon, evening, Rob. Hey man, it is night. um, Once again, congratulations, dude. Some amazing news for you today. I'm really happy for you guys. Like it's just absolutely extraordinary what you've achieved with all your hard work. So just well done, guys. Well done. Lloyd Collins, my brother in arms, Marius Hexenheim. Oh my god, like Lloyd, again, I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to do spoilers for the Lore Keepers because, like, this session, this latest session, like, in terms of what it means to the characters, is kind of like got me really excited. And Lloyd threw me this document that he just went nuts on about a particular element to his character, and I was reading it. I was like, "Oh my god, this is some deep cut shit, and it's great." So there's some really cool stuff coming up uh, in the Lore Keepers because of Lloyd throwing some awesome stuff at me. Like, I worked on the chapter 5 of the Law Keepers with Locris and jumped into a hangout with him, and like we came up with some awesome stuff. Like, that's what everyone should do. Everyone should do that. Everyone should just sit down with their players and talk about like things that are going to involve them, because it just makes it so much richer. Kristen Logie says, just popping in. Evening, Rob. Hey, man, how's it going? Nicholas Jacquet says, hey, man. He also goes on to say, always amazing to know that you and Lloyd stay up so late or wake up so early to play the Law Keepers. Much respect. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the price that I pay because I wanted the players that I had in this game, and it meant that to make it work, I was going to have to be the one to stay up. Which I don't mind when it's like Fridays and weekdays and stuff, and I haven't got anything on the next day. I don't mind that at all. Lloyd has an amazing grasp control on his sleeping pattern, which I don't understand. Once I've had Law Keepers, like my sleeping pattern is thrown for a little while, so it really. But it's worth it. It is really, really worth it to make sure that Law Keepers happens, and I have a blast, and I never feel tired. That's the thing. Law Keepers fills me with adrenaline when I'm playing it, and I think that is my primary tool of being a DM for the Law Keepers, just adrenaline. Matt Click says, "Oh man, I can't wait to catch up. I saw it on my watch later queue and saw it's 5 hours." Yeah, man. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It is worthwhile. It is a worthwhile 5 hours to watch. And I'm not saying that because it was my session. I mean because of my players, man. Like they make some excellent decisions and some questionable and horrifying decisions as well. Like it's like crazy stuff. Alan Holloway says, "Sup, Rob," and then Chris himself and says, "Sup, hey man, how's it going?" So great that you guys are hanging out with me. So I'm actually going to start rambling now because I'm like 12 minutes in. I haven't even got to like the topic. So like I say, moving house. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass, but it's got to be done. Right, my first topic is player etiquette. This was something I was going to say for a riposte, which is my usual responding to messages and things like that. But like, I had a few things that I wanted to talk about, so I'm gonna riposte. So I'm gonna have like a riposte section. I'll have like a thing come in. I won't because I can't. I won't edit this. I won't edit this. I'm just gonna put it straight onto YouTube. Who am I even kidding? I'm gonna edit this. So anyway, riposte. Cameron basically had a question, and I should have really brought it up. I should have really opened it up so I could have read it. It's quite long though, so I mean, I'll probably paraphrase the question. Here we are. Let's see. So Cameron says, I've run into some issues that I've been bottling up with my players for a while. Certain issues, like with them playing their dice or playing on their phones and doodling in their notebooks. I've noticed that you have breaks towards the middle bit of your games. And my question is, how have you dealt with this in the past? Have you at all had issues with players in the past? Let me know. That'd be great. Thank you. Cameron, thank you ever so much for the question. I always appreciate it. And for those of you watching either on YouTube or Facebook, you can, if you want to ask me my opinion on stuff, whack it in the comments below, or go on to Performance Check on Facebook and like that, and go and comment there as well. So how do I deal with that? Well, to be honest, I think there's always like quite a lot of discussion in this community in particular about the social contract, where it is all agreed that you're there to play D&D and you're there to and it's between all of you that you kind of agree that what kind of game you're wanting to play. Now, me personally, I kind of expect people to not play on their phones whilst we're playing. Like, maybe that's too assumptuous of me. Maybe I shouldn't do that, but I I consider it I consider it rude. I'm going to put it out there. I consider it 100% rude if people are on their phones whilst um, someone's trying to run a game. And that's for two reasons. One, uh, you as a DM have obviously put a lot of time into. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you've thrown the session together at the last minute. But at the end of the day, you are going out of your way to provide entertainment. You are going out of your way to basically be the facilitator of an evening's entertainment or an activity. You've put work in. So when people aren't listening or people are like playing with their phones and stuff, then it just it kind of makes you think, well, are they being considerate at all? Like, I've put the effort in. Do they want to put the effort in? And the best thing I can suggest to you, Cameron, is communicate. Like, I'll be honest. If someone did that at one of my games live, I'll just say, why are you doing that? Like, I'll just say, like, why are you on your phone? Like, I'll say, are you not enjoying yourself? And they'll probably, I don't know. Like, the thing is, it's not really happened to me before. Like, but I would say, why are you on your phone? Would you mind not, like, we can have a break in a bit? As you mentioned, Cameron, it is a good idea to have breaks. Uh, back in the day when I ran D&D for my friends, we go for like 12 hours of playing D&D, like from. I'm back. I'm back. That was weird. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I think I had a bit of a connection issue. What I was saying was, um, what was I saying? Oh dear. Um, yeah, so communication, I think, is key. Like, back in the day, I played for 12 hours. That was it. Played for 12 hours with my friends. Like, we would have breaks. Um, uh, and that's totally fine. Like, people get food, like, you look at your phone and stuff, like, but it's just rude. It's rude. And like, the other thing that really grinds my gears is when people only pay attention when it's their turn. That's the other thing that gets me. Um, which I have had in my games. You'll have someone that is really kind of uh, domineering in the game, perhaps, where they're all about the game when it's their turn. Okay, and then they've done their turn, and then they will then not pay attention, and they will talk to someone else whilst it's someone else's go. And I actually always make a point of saying, it's thing is, it's this dude's go now. They listened whilst you were having their turn. It's only fair if you do the same and show them the same courtesy. It's courtesy. It's common sense. It is communication. You have to speak to people. If there's any issue with people in your game, then you have to address it, and you have to just I mean, I don't mean like be a tyrant, but like you've got to just say, look, this is my point of view, and don't be worried about it. Just say, look, I'm putting a lot of effort in here to ensure that you guys have a good time, and I would appreciate if you do the same. Uh, so yeah, lots of breaks, a good idea. Refreshment. Um, and yeah, just talk to people. Most of all, it's about having a good time. And I mean, there are probably some players out there that don't mind people being on their phones whilst they're having a game. Then that's fine. I personally don't like it because I like I say, I consider it to be rude. Like, if it would be the same as if I was having just a normal conversation with you. If I'm having a conversation with you and then you're on your phone like that, like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you want to disconnect from the hive mind for a second? That'd be great. See, we got a few more comments. Uh, let's see. Lloyd, my brother Lloyd, says, I kicked a friend from my home game, asked him to put his phone away. He told me no. I asked him more seriously again. He said no. Again, then I told him to leave. No mercy. Fucking hell. Well, the thing is, Lloyd is hardcore. Lloyd doesn't take any shit. That's a great thing, though. Like you gave two opportunities there. Like I don't think that's any problem whatsoever. Like if they're gonna just turn around and say and not agree to it, then yeah, that's it. Lloyd goes on to say, if you can't give me at least your attention when I spend hours working on entertaining you, you can get lost. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to sound like in a confrontational way. I don't think that's how it should be done at all. Like, I just have to be very clear. I'm really big on manners. Like in my real life, like in my day to day, I'm a very polite person. I will always go out of my way to ensure that I address anyone with courtesy. You know, that's something that I have been brought up to do, and I think I will continue to do so. And I always expect to be treated how I treat others. You know, and that's in all walks of life, not just D&D. That's it's about just being a considerate human being. So that's that topic anyway, I guess. Luke Kenzagallis says, last night, due to a reduced time frame, I had to DM a game that only went 2.5 hours, and a player wanted us to pause so he could go and buy a new keyboard. I said no. Yeah, I think I'd probably say no too, man. Like, I mean, you don't agree to go and play. You don't agree to play D&D to then say, "Oh, I've got to do a shopping run. Yeah, I've got to go pick up. I've got to go pick up some stuff. You know, like why? We out of curiosity, were you playing online, Luke? Because that might explain it. Maybe like if they can't type, I suppose they just need a camera and dice. I don't know. That's weird. But funny, but weird. Cameron is actually dropped in to say hi. So Cameron was the one that asked the question. He says, that helps a lot, man. I'm going to have to crack down on my players. Like I say, don't be confrontational, but just be clear. Just say, look, I put work in. I put work into this. And like Lloyd said, if you're not going to if you're not gonna, be courteous enough to lend me your attention whilst I do this, then we're gonna have an issue. Luke says home game in a store. Oh, I see. Okay, then no. You either play the game or you go shopping. You've got to choose. You have to choose between your priorities there. There we go. So that's the first topic. Although, to be fair, I've already gone like 20 minutes. I'll carry on. I'm just going to puff. The next thing I'm going to talk about is journeys, because of the fact that I'm moving out and stuff. And moving on, I'm going to be talking about journeys in your game, because I think they are a really, really great way of getting some fantastic gameplay, some fantastic role playing as well. Before I move on, Melvin just says, to me, it would be fine if they're on their phone because of the game, like looking up something that can contribute to the whole gaming experience for everyone. But yeah, I think it should be kept at a minimum. I haven't had a player outright exit the whole immersion entirely. Yeah, like obviously looking stuff up, that's fine. I think what we're addressing is like someone's on their phone, like scrolling through Facebook or talking to other people, like that's the line. But I think to be honest, I think most people grasp this. I think the majority of people understand. And if you've got a good game and you're enjoying yourself, like people play D&D because they want to play D&D. They and generally speaking, I think most people are pretty good about that. But anyway, on to the next topic: journeys. This is something I bring up now. There is many wonderful options out there for mechanics of doing different journeys. The main one I can think of is the Adventures in Middle Earth system. There is a really great thing in there about the different things that can happen and role-playing role-playing activities, role-playing options, and encounter options for journeys. But I'm going to talk about it more in a role-playing perspective, and this is something that I've done a fair bit, but it's only something that I've really ever thought about recently. And this again was from a Lawkeepers game. It was in chapter. I'm not going to go into it, like what actually happened, but basically, whilst you're journeying, I really like the campfire. This is something I get from older role-playing games. Like there's a game, Dragon Age Origins is a really good example. You would sort of have your campfire that you could go to. You'd set up camp in Dragon Age Origins, and you could take that opportunity to speak with your party. You know, you could go and you could develop your relations with them. So I like to do that with my role-playing games with travel. Like I describe the day as they go through it. If I'm doing random encounters, then I'll obviously roll to see if they encounter anything. But generally speaking, I describe the day. I tell them roughly the kind of mood that's sort of hanging over them as they're journeying. Are they lost in thought? Are they hurrying to get to their destination because there's a ticking clock? You know. I think the mood of whatever journey they're undergoing is as important as the mood of a transition is as important as the mood of the next scene that you're going to. So, for example, you can then have, if you want your players to role play, for instance, this is something that I've done. Like I say, that I haven't really thought about, but then I thought about it the other day, and I thought, oh yeah, I do that. I just say that one person is awake. I just say, so in this case, we're talking about Lawkeepers. So Marius Hexenheim is, you are awake in your own watch, okay? And so happened, or someone else, and something happened, or you both are awake. What are you talking about? You know, that's something that I find really. It's kind of just turning to your players and say, you can talk about what you want to talk about. If your characters are worried about anything, they'd probably be talking about it right now. If your characters need to plan anything, they can be talking about it right now. Have the journeys contribute to your players' communication, whether it be out of game and they're using the journey to plan how they're going to delve into the dungeon they're approaching, or delve into their own sort of backstories or emotions. It's just it's a really nice little sort of framing device, I think, between your set pieces, you know, between your encounters, between your scenes and things. And it gives your players time to relax. It gives them time to think. I think that's an important thing as well. Like, thinking is an important thing. Newsflash. I don't really like that. I mean, sometimes it's good for players to be able to sit back and sort of consider what their next move is going to be. So you're describing their journey. That is giving them you're giving them information, so sort of what mood is going to be on the party, and also what's coming up, what they need to prepare for. Is there like a growing sense of dread as they approach the dark tower before them? You know, that sort of thing. It's just the journey is just a tool to basically set players up with whatever you need them to be set up with, whether it's time to think, time to plan, time to role play. Like, it can be used for a number of these reasons. Cameron says, speaking of journeys, lol, the last story arc I ran was meant It was meant to be, I must stress this, it was meant to be an urban campaign, as in the adventures, as in the adventurers stay inside or around a large city. This story turned into a fiasco that went from one end of a bloody continent to another, then back. We had to move an entire nation of people from point A to B. So this campfire scene was pretty much a session-to-session occurrence. The character development flowed like water, utterly beautiful. Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, that's to me that sounds like a great campaign idea. An exodus of an entire race of people to move from one place to the other. Um, like Moses traveling through Egypt. I like that idea. Yeah, I think that's great. Like, and with that kind of, if your journey is with like a vast amount of people or with a caravan of people, um, that presents like a whole bunch of opportunities. Like, what NPCs are going to be traveling with you? Will people be able to buy things and barter with other people on your journey as well? You can use your journey time for shopping. Um, you can use that time to issue tasks to the NPCs. You guys are going to need to defend the rear of the caravan. You guys are going to be at the front. You guys can go and scout ahead a couple of miles to ensure that our roads are clear and that there isn't any danger ahead. Like, it's then that a journey becomes almost like um, a strategic encounter or a challenge in that respect. Um, I I've had a few ideas. Like, at the moment, like, I'm obviously I absolutely adore running Law Keepers, and Law Keepers is heavily sort of uh, narratively driven, pacey, sort of with good action and like larger than life sort of characters. Um, but one thing that I've been wanting to do, which I might end up running alongside if I can, is and I've talked about this before, is this kingdom idea. Like, I keep coming back to this kingdom idea, where basically you all start as refugees, and it's going to be like a kingdom building. You go from I basically want to do like a rags to riches story, and it's all going to be about governing and politics and sort of um, trying to set up a working society amidst like an adverse situation. Uh, and I think I'm going to have to fall back on a lot of those journeying kind of aspects when doing that, because they're going to need to find a home in an unknown land. Um, and that's the other thing. On your journey, you meet other people. Like, I mean, Lord of the Rings, for example, the Adventures of Middle Earth is all about traveling across the world and running into different people and running into different encounters. The important part is the journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey, that famous phrase. So do consider that when you're running your games. Don't think, oh, well, they need to now get to the dungeon. You travel for 3 days and you arrive at the dungeon. That's absolutely fine to do, if that's the kind of game that you want to play. But don't underestimate what you can achieve with that journey. Um, Allowing your players to think, allowing them to take stock, allowing them to talk to each other. And I think you'll be really happy with the results. And I think that's about it, to be honest. I hope everyone has enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to do my best to update as much as I can. I will see. It depends entirely on what happens, because right now I'm staring into the wide unknown with a vast amount of possibility. Is the optimistic way that I'm looking at it. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more like it, then give me a like. If you would like to see more, if you want to, I ruined my sign out. If you like it, like it. If you would like to see more like it, then give me a subscribe or not. We're all friends here. Or are we? Take it easy, and I hope that all of your performances are up to standard.